All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. And I'll be honest, this one's going to be a rough video right here, all right? The really sad thing is all three of these had amazing setups. All three of these seemed like they were going to run really hard. All three of these had a very ugly Friday, all right? We'll start with Vroom. And oh man, I'm not going to lie. I had a good amount of money in Vroom. I also got really greedy. I saw that $7 target. And this is why I always say stuff like, don't have X dollar dreams when we're only down here, all right? Like, dude, we're at $1.80 and I for sure had $7 dreams. And it messed me up hard, all right? So I will talk personally about that, all right? VIRI actually looked fantastic. VIRI closed on Friday, making me extremely excited for Monday. And then all of a sudden I get a comment from Just Sharded while I'm driving to the desert and away from my computer, and like, sweet Jesus. So we'll talk about VIRI after hours a lot. And then CGC. Okay, I will be so honest, all right? I didn't see any single headline that justified CGC's Friday. Let me know if I missed something, but my goodness, CGC looked like it was going to run to the 50 average and maybe even higher. Not, I'm about to lose about half of my money. You know what I mean? So crazy three tickers we're going to talk about. At the end of the day, look, I say this I actually probably should say this more and like probably make a disclaimer too, right? But look, I'm not here pretending that this stack is like the best or prevents anything. I'm also not even here saying that like my other ones are that much better. There's no such thing as a member version, by the way. But man, it's just there's some things that you get really disappointed on, especially when the technicals look so much better. That's what these three are, all right? So use these as a learning lesson, but you know, you can't make big decisions off of one candle, and you know, that's going to be the underlying tone for all of these. But before we go any further, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, all right? We're going to take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself, and then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to the channel, share this video all over the internet, comment good or bad. Hey, if you disagree, I'm not here to hate on you, I swear, but anything you can do really does help me out. Worst case, look, just giving me your time and watching this is already a lot, all right? So look, let's get into it and let's take a look at Vroom. And honestly, I think the weekly speaks a lot to Vroom. Like, minus how the day ended on Friday, the weekly was like crushing it. The weekly was all the way up there. Weekly really seemed like it broke this, was about to smash this insignificant one, maybe come here to 550, if not my $7 line up here. And honestly, I think all this got me really greedy. And man, the real problem is, I covered this with, I believe it was Mavis, if I'm not mistaken. But what ends up happening is when you fly further from the 8, what ends up happening is, sorry to say that so many times, but there's a gap right here. All right. And the goal generally is to either just go horizontal till you catch back up to it, or hopefully the line moves exponentially up and fills that void, right? But if bad things happen, like we see here, when the gap is this big between where our candle sits and where the 8 moving average sits, that's how scary things like we see here happen, all right? Look, Thursday wasn't a great day. Thursday closes completely under this candle. That's a relatively scary thing. But again, we've done it before. We almost did it there. We've done it before. We did it on this day after that. Like, it's happened so many times that I think maybe worst case, and it's kind of what I said in the last video, maybe worst case we come down here to like the 8 moving average, but that should be it. Instead, at one point, we were kissing a minus 20 something day. And, you know, yeah, it does come back up a bit to minus almost 17, but that's devastating. And I'll be honest, took so much of my profit away. It was horrible. It really was. And you know, this quick green was a unexpected red. You know what I mean? And that's such a bad RSI. Yeah, RSI was a little high. It was an 81. But again, we've lived here and the signals weren't, you know, this is a hard drop. This is only once 81. The day before was 79. Like, this isn't an immediate recovery kind of move. So like that was interesting. And yeah, I mean, volume, this was bad. There's nothing more that I can say, and I'm kind of here trying to justify why it kind of happened and stuff. But I mean, again, I lost a lot of money here. I did. I lost a lot of profit, which I guess kind of makes it a little better. It wasn't necessarily like my money, but yeah, that's profit I would have really wished I didn't get greedy on. I banked a little earlier, and you know, it's just, it could have gone so many different ways. But again, the theme of this really is most of these were setting up to do fantastic and they just didn't. And you know, a mix of greed and unexpected movement can really hurt. I'm going to call myself a good trader, and I'm going to be honest, I think it can hurt a good trader as well. So end of the day, you can't make rash decisions on one candle. All right, we are under the 8 moving average and we're actually under this, but how is it going to confirm? Can we actually come back up to 196? Can we actually close back over the 8 and like make me believe that we're going to actually go back over it? Because look, this is actually only the first moment that we've come under the 8 moving average. This might be an insignificant nothing if it goes back up and keeps running back up, right? But 61's also like the RSI doesn't seem to get very low here, right? RSI, I guess it's 30, so I kind of take that back. It can. It's been living right here in the 40s, which still I guess is a little bit low. Maybe we are going to come to the 20, but again, how does my rules work? 8 and the 20 are your friends when you're friends, and right now speaking, they're kind of our friends, right? So we still haven't used the 20. Hopefully we can get back over the 8, but yeah, if we hit the 20 and go back up too, that's actually still technically bullish in my system, right? So yeah, just really rough, really rough. All right, so let me know your thoughts if you got any other ones. Sorry, VIRI, VIRI. Look, I've been loving VIRI. I got really excited when VIRI broke the 20. I got really excited on Friday. I got really excited when we broke that peak, right? Because that wasn't a great confirmation. That was a decent confirmation. That was a nice gap up and believe. I was calling 250. I basically said, you know, 50% candle right here, roughly speaking, that's where we're at, right? But yeah, I was calling 250. This thing hit 242. The high of the day was 242. The close of the day was 242. Why am I saying that this is a bad one? It's because of what happened after hours. You know, I normally don't care about after hours, but look at what happened after hours. We just take wild movements. It dropped. I know when I saw Just Sharded's email and comments on the video, I don't think I saw it immediately when he put it, but by the time he put it, it was sitting at -20 after hours. I was on my way to Palm Springs on the desert, away from my computer. Like, I was wondering, do I make an immediate sell? Do I look at the charts and wait? And I mean, you know, I'm glad it recovered as much as it did. I'm really worried here. I am. You know, across all my videos, I put very little emphasis on post-market, but man, I'm worried. I am worried. I went from more than likely averaging up so hard on Monday to I'm pretty sure I'm unloading every single penny here. All right. And yeah, I have my money in this. I like I said, there was reason to believe it was going to 250. It basically got really close to 250. It then actually goes above. No, it doesn't. It doesn't go above it. High 244. Sorry, I take that last one back. But like I said, that devastation down really hurt me. And I don't think Monday's going to go well. I think that devastation in the after hours is going to carry over. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's around only -9%. I don't know if it's double digit minuses after hours or not, but man. And again, I was looking for the headlines. I think Just Sharded said that it was an offering. I don't know if I saw offering headlines, but I did see something along the lines of them trying to do some financial this or that. Maybe I needed to click into it to get a little bit more information. But yeah, VIRI's clearly doing something that's either doing money manipulation or share manipulation. I don't use the word manipulation like a bad, shady thing. But yeah, they're playing with some sort of numbers, and the market didn't like it. The market went from I'm so excited to keep buying that the high of the day 242 is the close of the day. Literally, they kept buying till the end. To all of a sudden after hours, like I don't know if, like, because look at this thing. It actually went under the 8 and the 20. At one point, people were not sure if both of the lines were going to be lost. You know what I mean? So again, I don't put a lot of emphasis in post-market. That's, excuse me, loud enough for me to actually get ready to eject. And I think I'm going to eject if I can in pre-market. I hope by like 4 a.m. my time, 7 a.m. Eastern, I've unloaded a lot of this, and then we'll just kind of see how market reaction goes to far less money, far less shares. And hey, if market ends up saying, you know what, that post-market stuff was nonsense, let's keep running, yeah, I'll just buy back in. I don't mind, right? Like, even if I buy back in a little higher than I sell, again, whatever. This either is going to run up to 3 something, or we're coming down to 166, maybe even lower. You know what I mean? So I think we're going to see a rather extreme Monday or a really crazy doji, and Tuesday is going to be the day. But man, again, just like Vroom, it seemed like this was going to go crazy. I'm now not sure if it's worth any of my hard-earned money, and that's so disappointing, so disappointing, you know? Okay, I think, look, this one I saved last, and I you know, you save the best for last, and unfortunately save the worst for last here, right? But, okay, first let me talk about the good, all right? Since right here, since February, we have been well under the 8 and the 20. We actually never close over that. I'm going to delete all my lines. There's way too many lines here. I think it's going to make it an even easier visual. Beautiful. Look, we never get over that orange line. That was close, couldn't do it. That was close, couldn't do it. That was close, couldn't do it. We did it, we did it, we did it. All right. Look, and RSI was a very healthy number. MACD was so close to the 0 line. Like, volume was just consistently green and consistently. There was red. There was more reason to believe we were going to come to the 50 moving average at 80 cents. Actually, a little bit higher. It was a little bit high. It was at 81 cents. Not come sub 40. All right. And the real problem is we're actually, this is the one line I didn't want to delete, but it's easy to redraw. We're under our all-time low support, right? Like, under this line, you can see it easier on the weekly. There's nothing. There's that black hole of darkness that CGC really has been living in since it lost this one, right? Or even worse, this one. Right? Like, this was the all-time low before. This is now the new one, right? So, and when this one was lost, we went from $1.20 to 40 cents. That's a 3/4%, right? 4, 8, 12. That's a 2/3. That's a 66% loss. Sweet Jesus, right? Like, if we lose this again, I always say this, right? I don't care what stock, what sector. If you lose all-time lows, get ready to lose 20%, and then after that, get ready to lose another 20%. Roughly speaking, this might lose 8 cents. Those are my kind of like next two tiers, right? Like, 36 cents is my first one after roughly 40, right? -4. After that, minus another 4, and that's basically 32 cents, right? So 36 and 32 are kind of my next legs down. But again, kind of the same thing I've been saying. I know this is an even more devastating one, but in a lot of ways, you can't let one candle make your decision. Hopefully, we can somehow get back into the 50s. What did post-market do? Starting to recover, but how big of a recovery, I don't know, right? But again, bad things happen under the 8 and the 20. It seemed like this had escaped it. It's so sad that it fell not just under, but into the all-time lows instead of, like I said, what I would have expected to actually come into 180. So, and real quick, I'm just going to flash them. Like, Tilly also did bad, but not as horribly, right? ACB also did bad, but not as horribly, right? Like, there was a little bit of a sector thing, right? Like, I get it. So, like, something for sure happened. Why did CGC lose 40%? That actually, I think, blows my mind a little bit, let alone, like I said, the fact that it was running. Like, yeah, hey, it happens. All the sectors do bad. Friday's generally a bad day. Maybe everything loses between 5 to 10%. Now, no one wants to lose that, but whatever. This, I think, was a really extreme anomaly, unless I really missed the news or misread the headline. So appreciate a little feedback here. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. This was sadly a rough video to make. Hey, have a great one.